All right, here we go. Last week of the messages to Jason Moore from Zero to Travel. It's a bittersweet moment. Bittersweet. All right, and I'm gonna pull up the recording device. So I actually did write this one out. So I'm not just totally winging it. However, I did kind of stream of conscious write it, so I don't know if there's any edits that would need to be made or not. But I just want to go. I want to try and keep it real and authentic, as authentic as possible. So here we go. Jason. I'm calling this the chain of impact. All right, let's see if the recording works or if I need to do it again, because a lot of times I need to do it twice. Yep, did not work. Here we go, pull it back up again. And hey, Jason, it's Max again. And that was not. I always kind of forget whether I'm going to acknowledge what I'm doing or just say the message. I always forget, and I forgot this time. I actually wrote it out. I'm going to acknowledge it towards the end, but I shouldn't say anything about it now. So, hey, Jason, it's Max. You're one of your biggest fans again. And today I wanted to tell you about the incredible impact you had on so many people. And I know a lot of listeners have told you about how you've taught us new lessons, given us a new perspective, inspired us to dream big, and motivated us to take action. But it deserves to be proclaimed many more times. And in particular, what I wanted to highlight was the fact that I'm not only a huge fan of your podcasts, Zero to Travel and the Location Indie podcast with Travis, but also the fact that a couple of months ago, I stumbled upon and started listening to a show called That Remote Life, which is a podcast hosted by a fellow named Mitko Karshovsky. And when I heard the podcast, I immediately remembered being introduced to this guy on your Location Indie podcast 3 years ago. 3 years ago. And I say this with all the respect in the world to Mitko. But to hear where his podcast is now compared to that green newbie that I heard on your podcast is just amazing to see how much he has grown and progressed. And I mean, honestly, you must be so proud. He was a guest of yours. He was a mentee of yours in the Location Indie community. And now he's here thriving and creating so much impact of his own. And it all comes back to you. What your proteges, heck, what all of your listeners go on to do is a credit to you in some way for how you've shaped us and impacted us in this space. So that's my spiel. That's, what I wanted to say. But what's also really funny, and this is just so serendipitous or something, but I decided that this would be my audio message for you, my final one in this 10 weeks of sending you messages. And so I honestly felt like this was the climax, the significant message that I wanted to share. And so I just came to that conclusion, this idea for the message earlier this afternoon. And I was thinking about how I would say it, what I would say exactly. And I was thinking maybe you've forgotten who this Mitko fellow is, and I would need to refresh your memory. And then about an hour ago, I was doing something and I just hit play on Spotify. And the next podcast episode in my queue was Mitko's 100th episode celebration. And can you imagine my jaw dropping when he introduces his special 100th episode guest as the one and only Jason Moore? I fell out of my chair, man. Anyway, I've had a lot of fun doing this. You can take a big sigh of relief now that I will not be bugging you anymore with these weekly messages. But really, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, Jason, for your show, for your authenticity, and for the chain of impact you're creating through your many disciples. All right. That's fine. Kind of stumbled a little bit, but that's it. I think I've got to figure out what I'm going to do next. I don't really need to do anything, but anyway, I do now have a void, something else to think about and look forward to each week in this way. We'll see. Whenever I think of something, I'll start doing that. Till then, peace out.